So today I got to tell you guys a story, right? And I don't know if I should tell you this story. Um, on one hand, it's kind of cool, and on the other hand, it's like totally irresponsible. It is totally irresponsible. Okay, so what happened was, so I had this Corvette, you know, and if you're following the videos, you know, I started off with Chevy, and I had a '58 Chevy, right? And so I'm moving forward, and now I got a Corvette. It's a convertible. It's a '68. It's really cool, you know, and I mean, it's like the chrome was shiny, the under the hood, out of the hood. I mean, even the wires under the hood were like, you know, like wiped each one, you know. And so I joined this Corvette club. And we all had our Corvettes. And this is, you know, our Corvette club was in South Central in LA. So, you know, called it the Afro Vets. And we were cool, man. We had, you know, big fros, cool cars, right? That's the way. But, you know, we don't hurt nobody. We're just having fun. So one Sunday we were going to have this outing, this picnic. And I lived out in the valley and we were going to go north. They were down in South Central, right? So I figured I'd catch them on the highway. And I was running late. I was running late. But I didn't know they were running later. But what it is like, oh yeah, this is before there were cell phones. So, you know, I didn't really have a way to communicate with anybody on the road. So I get on the highway. I'm on the 405 north, turns into the 5. And I'm cruising, and I figure, uh-oh, I'm late. Where is everybody? And I start speeding up. And then a little bit later, I sped up a little bit more. And then I looked around. It was really early on a Sunday morning. Nobody was out there. I said, you know, I have never seen what this car will do. And nobody's around. Nobody's looking. And boom, I floored it. And I said, okay, I know I'm going to catch up with everybody. I know. And I'm honking. And finally, I'm cruising along, about 90, then 100, and then faster and faster. And then next thing I know, I'm at 150. I was balling, boy. And then, okay, so then I came down the grapevine. Man, I'm flat out. And I'm going, okay, they can't be this far. And I start slowing down. Now, I did this on my own, mind you. And as I slowed down, there was a helicopter. And for some reason, that was the loudest helicopter I heard in my life. That was louder than the helicopters in Vietnam. It was just like, oh, you know what the word is. Man. And so I said, well, I looked to the left, I looked to the right, nowhere to go. I was in the middle of like a desert, you know, and now it's full of houses and everything, right? So I just, okay, I give up the ghost. I'm not going to try to run a ray. I'm not going to try to outrun the helicopter, you know. I just pulled over. And I'm sitting I'm standing outside the car on the side, and all of a sudden, you know how those old Burt Reynolds movies, right? And yeah, TV movies, they had an effect on me. So I pull over, I'm standing there, and you know, you see those little wavy lines coming up off the pavement as the sun starts to warm it, and I see these two little red dots. And then all of a sudden, the two little red dots start going. And I noticed it was like a freeway flyer, a pursuit vehicle. You know, this police vehicle, it was lowered, big tires, crash bar on the front, roll cage. Dude had on a helmet. I mean, I'm like, whoa, this is serious. I'm just standing there, and all of a sudden I noticed the dude had locked up the brakes and he was sliding and sliding and pulls over. Boom, gets out, looks at me, takes off the helmet, looks at me. throws the helmet in the car, dramatically flips out his ticket book. About this time, two other police cars, California Highway Patrol, whoo, whoo, they pull in. Good cop, bad cop, all the way. I'm like, whoa. It felt like I was in a movie. But then the weight of the long arm of the law came down on me. Okay, so the other guy, he walks up with the ticket book and just puts out his hand. Ooh, I think he must want my driver's license. I hand it to him. He looks at me, more intense, puts out his hand. Boom! I give him the registration, and he just starts writing. He had not said a word, just starts writing. The other two, they're walking around my car, kicking the tires, right? Open the hood. Open the hood. Boom! The sunlight reflects off the chrome. Damn, some ride you got here. They start looking through the car, lift up my beach towel. You're going kind of fast. Where you going? Oh, that way? He looks at me, stern look. The other one comes in. Where are you coming from? I said, that way? And then I realized my humor did not have the effect that I thought it was going to have. About this time, the other officer walks up and hands me the ticket. He says, I'm being nice to you. I gave you careless driving instead of reckless driving. And I'm like, ooh, thank you, officer. You know, all the humor was gone. You know, I was young, irresponsible, but that makes for good stories. But the moral of the story is I definitely would not do it again. Because the next video will tell you what happened when I went to court.